Okay, so first of all, we'll just go through some introductions. So I'm Sam Connor and I'm sales manager here at Interface, and we are Bitrix24 Gold partners based in the UK. We're also in the US and Hong Kong. And what we do is we offer a full range of services to assist you with Bitrix24. So, starting off with pre sale support, so we can help to analyze your requirements and simply see if Bitrix24 could be a good fit for what you're trying to achieve. And if it is a good fit, we can then implement the system for you. So, what we can do is set it up and have it designed so it works exactly how you need it to work for your business. Now, if you are interested in the self hosted option, which is the option we'll be looking at today, we can provide you with our hosting service, and we also provide training and ongoing support to really help you maximize the value that you get from the Bitrix24 system. Okay, so before we focus in on the self-hosted version of Bitrix today, I just want to take you through quite a high level as to what Bitrix24 actually is. Okay, so Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 40 different tools that you can use to help you to manage your business. And there are now over 15 million businesses around the world that use the Bitrix24 system. And it is available in two different versions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud, and then we also have the Bitrix24 Self Hosted solution. Now, we will be focusing today on the self hosted solution, but if you do have any questions about the cloud version of Bitrix, I can provide answers in today's session for you. And then in terms of pricing, excuse me, prices start from approximately $49 per month for a cloud-based license. So that's the basic cloud. And for a self-hosted, it starts at 3,590 US dollars in year one. And then in year two, and then ongoing annually, you'll pay a 50% renewal fee to continue to access the system. Okay, so as I say, if you have any questions as we go through today's webinar, please do put them into the question box in YouTube. We are live today, so I can help to answer any questions. Okay, so as we start to drill down to look at the self-hosted version of Bitrix, when we say self-hosted, it simply means it's a private cloud version of Bitrix24. So you can, as I say, you can either host this on your own instance, say of AWS, or we can provide our hosting service, or you could host it on a local server as well. So you've got all of those options for the self-hosted system. And in terms of the self-hosted system, there's two versions of the Bitrix24 self-hosted system. So first of all, we have the business edition. So I'll just talk you through some of the features here. So the self-hosted business version, this is the most popular and usually the most suitable version of the self-hosted for most businesses. It includes all of the functionality that the self-hosted version provides access to, which we'll take a look at later on in terms of all of the benefits of customization, having access to the source code, so it becomes a fully customizable product. There's also additional features compared to the cloud version that you'd have access to, so such as a help desk, an e-learning module, and that advanced functionality for customization. And the other version we have is called the enterprise version. Okay, so the enterprise self-hosted system, this is our most advanced product, and it allows a company to establish an unlimited number of intranets, which can all be managed by a single global administrator. So, for example, a company, they may operate in multiple countries. they may want individual sites with different languages for their local operation in that office. So we can customize each site to have different languages for each office where that's located across the world. And that can then all be managed for one central global control panel. So it's a really advanced feature available to allow you to have multiple instances from one Bitrix24 system. Okay, so moving on then to look at some of the benefits of the self-hosted system. So one of the main benefits of the self-hosted solution is the ability to customize the platform. And the self-hosted solution essentially is a full content management system which can be customized extensively. So if we just take a look at some of the ways that we can customize the system. So first of all, we can customize it with the branding. So we can include specially designed login pages with logos within the site. And there's also some scope to customize colors and themes. So it's a really popular feature when you're logging into Bitrix. You can have it customized with essentially the look and the feel of your company. So it's a really nice way to be able to bring your employees, even potentially customers, into a corporate branded solution. Then we also have, as we can see here, the control panel. So the control panel is the area for administrators to make, it could be changes to modules. So modules can be configured in very advanced ways within the control panel. So if you're currently using a cloud version of Bitrix, then I think you'll be extremely impressed with the additional functionality that's available within the control panel. So we'll take a look at that shortly. And in addition, there is also full access to the source code. So this means if the customization that you want, if it can't be configured within the control panel, it is usually possible to do this directly in the code. So Bitrix, just to explain, it is built on its own framework in PHP. So if you are thinking of changing any of that source code, it should only be attempted if you have experience of PHP, but also as well as very good knowledge of the Bitrix24 platform itself. So we would always recommend speaking with a partner such as ourselves. We are the world #1 on-premise solution partner, so we can provide assistance to help you to customize the on-premise system using that source code and make sure it's set up and update proof for when you then make updates to the system in the future. We then have integrations. So an API is available on self-hosted solutions, allowing you to integrate with thousands of other web applications. And also finally, as we kind of touched upon earlier on, the self-hosted solution, it does have a number of extra features that aren't found on the cloud products, such as a help desk, there's e-learning, and also more advanced analytics as well. So that's just a summary there of some of the core additional benefits that you have from a self-hosted solution. Now, if you are currently on a cloud version of Bitrix and you're potentially interested in moving to a self-hosted, we can have that conversation with you so you could then take advantage of some of these benefits. We do migrate a lot of businesses from the Bitrix24 Cloud to a self-hosted solution so they can then take advantage. So if that's something that's of interest, you can contact us. I'm just going to put our email address into the YouTube channel box. So it's sales@interface.com. And then what we can do is set up a call with you to discuss the current setup on your cloud system, what your goals are, and we can then discuss a plan for transitioning you to the self-hosted version of Bitrix. And if we just then take a look actually at some of those customization benefits in a bit more detail, because one of the main reasons for choosing a self-hosted option, it is that ability to customize the look and really the feel of the Bitrix system. So it really makes it feel like it's a solution that's been developed and built for your own organization. The site can be customized to match, as I say, your corporate look, and then the functionality can be configured to make using the system more intuitive. And that's really important because it allows you to then get buy-in from your staff who are going to be using the system. And when you've got buy-in, people are actively and heavily using the system. That's when you'll see a more significant return on the investment that you put into using the self-hosted solution. So in terms of that customization, we can style the system. So many areas can be branded, and we'll take a look at an example in a second of a branded on-premise system. There's also the ability to edit. So any page can be edited, and administrators, they can create custom pages using the page editor wizard. So we'll take a look at that shortly as well, just so you can see how easy it is to start to add new content into the Bitrix24 system. A really important example of how we can customize the system is navigation. So it's something that it can sound simple, but it's a way of really improving the value that users get from using Bitrix. So what we can do is improve the user experience and also save time navigating modules. So the links in the navigation panel, they are fully editable in an on-premise version of Bitrix. And then we can actually display different navigation items for different sets of users. So if you're in the sales team, you can log into your Bitrix and just see the CRM as an example. So it makes it a lot more easy and intuitive for people to navigate Bitrix. We also have more advanced dashboards. So it's possible to create custom dashboards to display different sets of data on a page, whether that's sales or maybe project dashboards. And when we talk about customer portals, so on the cloud version of Bitrix, you have that customer portal, but with the self-hosted, we can rebrand it. So it's a lot more professional way to invite your clients or third parties into a portal interface. And then we can also customize the UI within that area for your clients. And then finally, all modules on a self-hosted version of Bitrix are customizable. It is possible to create your own also bespoke modules to perform certain tasks for your business. And we see a lot of businesses that are wanting to perform a specific task or process on Bitrix, and it requires the self-hosted version. In fact, because of this level of customization that we have with an on-premise version. And so that's why we see so many businesses using the on-premise system. So what we'll do now, let's take a look at some of that customization capability in more detail. So first of all, here, what we can see is a Bitrix Cloud version. So this is the login page for a Bitrix login. So you can see it's Bitrix24 branded, whereas with an on-premise, as you can see here, we've got our own branding on here. So it's a completely different look and feel to the system. And we've got our own domain for the account as well. So if you're wanting to have a system that's really incorporated into the business, then this is how we can start to do that with a self-hosted version of Bitrix. And then when we log into the system, I'm just going to show you this as an administrator. We've got access here to the control panel. So I can turn on the edit mode, and then I can start to customize the UI of the menu, start to change menu navigations and settings inside the system here. So this is the capability that you start to get with an on-premise version of Bitrix. And if I come into here, I'm just going to turn that off for a second. We have the ability also to create new content in the Bitrix system as well. So as we mentioned earlier on, you have the editor page wizard. So you're able to start to customize the whole interface of the Bitrix24 system. So what we can then do is we are able to customize pretty much every page within the Bitrix24 system. So what I can do is let's just go into the company page here. And then what we'll see, so on this company page right now, we have a site map. So we have links to lots of different areas of the Bitrix system. But a really popular page that you could create on here is a policies page where we can then store all of the related policy information that the organization has. So it's easy for members of the team to be able to see all of that policy information. So what we're going to look at now is how we can create a brand new page inside this module of Bitrix. So what we want to do is let's go into our control panel. And so this is the control panel where we can then, this is the background and the back end of the Bitrix self-hosted system. You don't have access to this area on Bitrix Cloud. So you can start to manage all of your users, start to manage all of your modules inside the system here. So it's a very advanced area of the Bitrix system. And so what we want to do here is we want to create a new page. So what we can do is if we click on add file, we can see here then that we first of all can give this page a title. So let's call this 2026 policies. Okay, and then that creates the file name. And then we can start to create out the page here. Okay, so we can start to add to this page. So obviously here I'm starting to add some text, but you can add images, videos, really make this content as desirable as you require for your specific needs and requirements. So I'm just going to apply this and save it. And then what we need to do is we need to create a menu item. Okay, so inside here, if we come into the system here, this is where we can start to add new menu items. So we can come into this mode. So again, let's just give this a title for that page. And then if we click into here, we're just going to put this into the relevant area. Okay, and then we can apply that. And let's just save that. And then if we come to the front, you can see now that's been customized. So we now have a 2026 policies page. And then the content that we had added, that is now being displayed on the front end here. So you're starting to see how using a self-hosted version of Bitrix, you have so much more customization capability than compared to a cloud version of Bitrix. And as long as you've got the training and knowledge, you'll be able to complete this type of customization yourself. And if we just take this to really the next level, let's just go back into the control panel. And if we go back into the menu page there, we've got the option here to go into the advanced mode. And then what we can do is I may say, for example, that this specific page is only for a specific group of users on our system right now. Because right now we're currently building out this policies page. So I only want it accessible to employees in the HR department as they're going to be formulating the policies for the company. So we can then start to create more granular permissions to control what features are able to be accessed inside the system that we're now creating for our team. Okay, so that's just one example there of how we can use the customization capabilities from branding the login page, customizing the navigation menu, and then creating new content inside the system. And I mentioned as well about additional features that we have access to. So let's just take a look at some of those. So again, if we come back into the control panel, now one of the features you have access to with the system is a help desk. So this is where tickets can be created. This is in the background of Bitrix. Now, what we have found is most businesses want this to be connected to the CRM. So in a second, I'm going to show you how with the on-premise system, we've created a custom help desk module that is embedded into the front end of the Bitrix system. And the way we've managed to do this is because with an on-premise version of Bitrix, you have a feature here called mailbox rules. So when you connect a mailbox into an on-premise version of Bitrix, you can create rules. And one of those rules, for example, is to create a tech support ticket. So with our help desk system, which we've created here in the front end of the Bitrix system, so it's a lot easier to navigate. We have a mailbox connected. So when a new email gets submitted to that mailbox, it's going to automatically create a new ticket inside the system here. And we can then see we've got a customizable workflow for them progressing and managing those tickets inside the system. And then all of the correspondence and communication that's taken place on the ticket, it gets saved inside the record. And what's really key with this help desk system that we have developed is when we then go into the contacts record, all of the tickets associated to the contact or the company, it's connected in the front end here. So when they're submitting new tickets via email, creating those tickets in our help desk, that's going to display directly inside the client's page inside Bitrix. So for the sales team or account managers, they're going to have visibility as to all of that new information about tickets that are being generated inside their account. So it's really key information that they will then have access to. Okay, and then in addition to that customization and additional features, there's also the additional integrations that can be completed. And that's a really important benefit that you have. You can build out integrations, as we saw, with emails, so that can then feed through email rules, generate and trigger new processes inside the system. Or Bitrix includes the API, which then allows for integration with other web services. And ones we worked with include Zero, could be Trello, e-commerce packages. And because with an on-premise, you have a lot more control to tighten the integration as to your specific integration requirements. Okay, a really important point to go through as well is the hosting options. So when it comes to hosting the self-hosted system, you have a choice to either host in-house or you can use a partner's hosting service. So if you are wanting to self-host, we can provide a virtual appliance, and that's a free application that allows Bitrix to be run in a pre-configured and fully secured virtual environment. And this saves time on product installation and maintenance, and it also improves the overall system performance. Or alternatively, and most businesses prefer this, you have partner hosting. So Bitrix can be hosted and managed by ourselves. And this is what we class as a dedicated cloud solution. And there are many benefits to this. So first of all, the server performance is managed by ourselves, so you don't need to worry about that. And the server is also optimized for speed and performance. We'll ensure your data is fully secured and backed up. And it also means projects can be scaled without investing in further hardware. We can simply increase the spec of the system for your needs and requirements. So essentially, our hosting, it really allows you to save time yourself and provides peace of mind for when, if you're hosting yourself, if an error occurs, the system goes down, that could be so time and critical for you and your business. And that then brings me on to discuss pricing, because hosting, there would be a cost for this. So in terms of pricing, so in the self-hosted system, starting on a business 50, that costs $3,590 in year one. And then in year two and ongoing annually, you'll pay a 50% renewal fee to continue to use the system. There's partner hosting, so our hosting for 100 gig is $2,950. And then you also need to take into consideration the additional costs for customizations, for integrations, and it's really important to have training and premium support in place for the self-hosted version because it is such an advanced version of Bitrix. Without that knowledge and experience, we simply wouldn't recommend setting up an on-premise system, because you'll waste time and money trying to set that up with yourself. It's really important to have that expertise to help you along the way. Okay, so in summary today, the key summary is the self-hosted version of Bitrix24 is the most advanced and customizable version of Bitrix that you can use for you and your team. We're able to rebrand the system, customize the UI and the interface, and it allows you to get more buy-in from staff using the system day in, day out. There's additional integrations such as mailbox rules to trigger processes and additional features such as the additional help desk and ability to advance UI, customize the system to your specific needs and requirements. Okay, so thank you very much for joining today's webinar. Here are a selection of our up and coming webinars. We are here every other Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can register for our webinars at interface.com/webinars. The recording of today's webinar as well will be on our YouTube channel, so please do head to our Interface YouTube page, and you'll also see a lot of additional content that could be of value to you and your teams. Okay, so thank you very much for your time today. I look forward to seeing you all in the near future, and bye for now.